Melissa van Dijk and I'm a makeup artist, and in today's video I would love to share my review about the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. And as you can see, it's a pressed powder which comes in a smaller compact, and it also comes in a plastic compact. So if you take the lid off, then here you have it. Now when it comes to my experience that I had with the product, then we need to go back 2 years ago, because this is when I first grabbed the product myself. And back then I was also kind of like experiencing the makeup products, and I didn't really know the difference, and like it was before I did my makeup school. So back then I used this one and I know that I loved it. I loved it so much that I hit pan on it, but then because of the packaging it broke, like it fell off the table and it broke, and I couldn't really fix it, so I had to like say goodbye. Now for some reason I grabbed it again, and I finally like can share also my thoughts about it, because now I'm a bit more experienced. I know my products and I also know what I like and also what I don't like. So when it comes to the product itself, first I also would love to share with you on how you can apply it and also how I personally like to use it, because there are a few ways, like tips and tricks, that I can give you on the way. So first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my hair out of my face. Much better. And when it comes to on how I like to use it and also how you can apply it, first I have my foundation concealer already on. So all what we need to do is powder to set the foundation. So you either can use a powder brush, which is a big fluffy brush, or you can also use a powder puff. Now when it comes to how I like to use it, then I also have to say it depends on what kind of makeup that I'm doing. Normally for natural makeup looks I'm using the brush. If I want to have it a bit more extreme, then I'm also using the powder puff. So what I also love to do is first I'm just going to show on one side how I like to use it on a brush, and on the other side with the powder puff. I'm just going to swirl the brush around, and I'm going to press it on top of my face, like on top of the foundation, and I'm not going to like how can I say, like sweep it away, because then I would move the foundation around, because I applied it like a liquid foundation on top. What I like to do is I'm just going to press it into the skin, and it just will mattify everything, as the name it already says, and it also just stops everything when it comes to the oily areas. So when it comes to how it controls my oil, I have a combination skin, but my T-zone can get oily quite quickly, and it also depends on how my skin's feeling like. So I have no problems with it when it comes to the oil control part. It keeps me mattifying during the day. What I also want to say is that once you apply the powder, it can look a little bit too powdery at first, but give the powder some time to melt in with the foundation, and then it will look gorgeous. Or you can also use setting spray on top after that, if you don't have time to give it some time to melt in with foundation, because then it will give you a natural finish and it just looks perfect, and you just use powder. Now when it comes to the powder puff, how I like to use it is I'm going to use it a bit like this, and I'm just going to press it similar to a brush, but with the powder puff, because the brush is like fluffy and the bristles are very like flexible, with the powder puff you really can press it into the skin and you have a bit more control. Plus it also will give you a bit more coverage, let's say it like, because it's not really transparent, because it still has a skin tone shade in it, but it will add a bit more of coverage. So this is if you want to add more coverage, and if you're using more of a lightweight foundation, or if you're using stick foundations, then you can also use powder puffs to just give it a bit more of that extra coverage. Now these are two ways on how you can use it. For me personally, the brush works the best and the quickest. I'm not going to spend too much time with the powder puff, but all in all, when it comes to the product, on where you should apply it and where you should avoid applying it, then I have to say, like overall, when it comes to the face area, I have no problems with it. The only difference that I've noticed from my experience over the 2 years, that I'm definitely not going to use this powder for my under eye area or on top of my areas, because I just feel like it's not fine enough. With translucent powder, the powder itself is very fine, and you won't see any like large particles or dry areas underneath your eye area. With this one, I do have the experience that it dries out my area quite quickly, and I will see some particles of powder. which is definitely not what I want, because there are different powders that are giving me a better and also smoother finish under the eye area. And just as a quick side note, I know that my subscribers know this already, but if you're new on my channel or you're just watching it randomly this video, then I just wanted to give you a quick side note that I have a combination skin and I lean a little bit more towards the drier side. So it's definitely not drying out my face, just when it comes to the under eye areas, this is where I have more problems with this powder. So this is why I would grab to a translucent powder for the eye area. But if I want to add a bit more coverage and that it stays matte all day long, then I'm just going to use the rest of it all over my face. Now, what I also experienced with some of my clients and when I did makeup on different people that were oilier, then the mattifying powder might not be for you, because I guess it stays at a certain point. If you have a bit of oil, then it's alright, but if you're really oily and you're getting really oily during the day, then I definitely would recommend you taking the powder with you, the mattifying powder with you, just that you can do some little touch up during the day, because it won't control the oil enough, if you are going to the extreme side, let's say it like that. So I just wanted to give you this side note, and so that you're also aware that if you have very oily skin, take this with you during the day so that you can do the touch up, dry out certain areas where you're getting oily during the day. Otherwise, if you have more normal to dry skin, then I would say you're good enough. If you're powdering it in the morning and then you're good to go to leave the house, you don't need to take this with you, because I'm myself, I'm not that type of person that loves to take makeup with me when I'm at work, when I'm at school, whatsoever. I'm just too lazy for it. So I just want something that lasts me all day long, and this is definitely something that lasts me all day long. So I'm just going to apply it in the morning and I'm good to go. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Keep in mind, oily skin types, maybe take it with you. Other than that, avoid your under eye area if you're a bit more drier, and also on top of your eyelids, because it's definitely not fine enough. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Either use a brush or a powder puff. Both ways work, depends on the coverage you want to get, and also depends on how much powder you want to have on your face. Give it some time to settle, and then you're ready to leave the house. This is what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you find it helpful, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!